A twin-engine airplane smaller than a car somehow rewrote the rules of aviation. The Colomban CriCri proves that extraordinary engineering can turn tiny engines, minimal weight, and radical ideas into serious flight. This thing looks fake. Seriously. The first time most people see the Colomban CriCri, they assume it's either a scale model or some kind of airshow joke, because no real airplane should look this small and still fly like an actual aircraft. And yet, somehow, it does. Not barely either. This tiny machine holds world records, performs aerobatics, and climbs faster than aircraft 4 times its size. And here's the part that really breaks your brain. The airplane weighs less than the pilot sitting inside it. Empty, the CriCri comes in around 78 kilograms. That's lighter than most grown adults. Somehow, this microscopic twin-engine aircraft can carry a human being, fuel, and still fly at over 100 knots without tearing itself apart. On paper, it sounds ridiculous. In the air, it becomes even stranger. But this wasn't some reckless experiment built in a shed by somebody guessing their way through engineering. That's what makes the story even crazier. The man behind the CriCri was Michel Colomban, a real aerospace engineer who worked on serious aircraft projects in France long before Airbus became what it is today. He understood aerodynamics deeply, which means every impossible-looking thing about this airplane was intentional. Back in 1971, Colomban gave himself a challenge that honestly sounded impossible even for the time. Build the smallest practical twin-engine aircraft in the world, and do it for under $1,000, engines included. In the early 70s, that budget was absurdly low for aviation. Most people probably would have laughed at the idea immediately. Colomban didn't. He started solving the problem piece by piece. At first, he actually wanted the airplane to use a single engine. But there was a problem. Every available engine was too large and too heavy for the tiny airframe he imagined. And this is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. Instead of using one bigger engine, he used 2 tiny ones. Suddenly, the aircraft stayed balanced, compact, and unbelievably light while still producing enough thrust to fly properly. In July 1973, the impossible thing actually flew. The prototype took off near Paris and proved almost immediately that it wasn't just flyable. It was genuinely capable, stable, agile, aerobatic. Colomban named it CriCri after his daughter Christine's nickname. But in French, the word also sounds like a cricket insect chirping at night. Whether that double meaning was intentional or not, honestly, it fits perfectly. Tiny, loud, impossible to ignore. What made Colomban different was his philosophy. He wasn't trying to make aviation luxurious or complicated. He believed elegance came from efficiency. Every gram mattered. Every shape mattered. Every unnecessary part was removed. The result feels less like a traditional airplane and more like somebody distilled aviation down to its absolute minimum form without sacrificing performance. And somehow, that approach worked better than anyone expected. The scale of this thing becomes hard to process. Most people imagine a small airplane as something like a Cessna 150. That aircraft has a wingspan of over 10 meters. The CriCri? Just 4.9 meters, less than half. You could practically park this thing sideways across a suburban street and still have room left over. Photos really don't prepare you for how unbelievably tiny it feels in person. The fuselage itself is only around 3.9 meters long. That's basically the size of a compact family car. And the wing area? Around 3 square meters. People compare it to a dining table, but honestly it's closer to a snooker table with wings attached. From certain angles, the aircraft almost disappears around the pilot sitting inside it. It feels less like climbing into a plane, and more like wearing one. And this tiny size wasn't just for shock value. Colomban designed the aircraft specifically so owners could store it in a normal garage. No expensive hangar, no permanent airport storage. The wings detach quickly, sections separate easily, and the whole thing can be dismantled in minutes. Imagine owning an airplane you could literally tow home behind a car after flying it. That changes aviation economics completely. Seeing the CriCri in photos doesn't really work. Your brain automatically assumes there's some kind of perspective trick happening. Then somebody stands next to it, and suddenly the scale becomes real. The bubble canopy barely wraps around a single pilot. The cockpit looks almost impossibly narrow. Everything about it feels compressed, concentrated, reduced to only the essentials needed for flight. And that tiny size created huge aerodynamic advantages. Smaller aircraft means less drag. Less drag means less power required. Less power means smaller engines and lower fuel consumption. Every design choice fed into the next one like a chain reaction. Colomban wasn't just shrinking an airplane randomly. He was building an entire philosophy around efficiency. The airplane works because every part supports every other part perfectly. Then you get to the engineering itself. And somehow the story becomes even more absurd. The CriCri's empty weight is around 78 kilograms. Again, lighter than the average adult man. Think about that for a second. This is a fully enclosed twin-engine aerobatic aircraft with landing gear, controls, fuel systems, and structural reinforcement. And it still weighs less than the human flying it. That shouldn't even sound possible. A huge reason for that weight comes from how the aircraft was built. Colomban used thin aluminum sheets bonded to foam cores instead of relying on heavier traditional structures. It sounds almost cheap when you first hear it. Aluminum and foam? Really? But the combination created something incredibly rigid without adding unnecessary mass. It was simple, affordable, and surprisingly strong. Exactly what the project needed. And this is where most people underestimate the airplane. Because despite looking fragile, the CriCri is fully aerobatic. Rolls, loops, inverted flight. It can handle all of it. The structure is rated to roughly plus 10 G and minus 5 G. For comparison, many normal general aviation aircraft are certified closer to plus 3.8 G. This tiny machine can survive forces that would make larger aircraft extremely uncomfortable. Even the landing gear tells you how disciplined Colomban's thinking was. Fixed tricycle gear. No retractable systems. No extra hydraulics. No unnecessary complexity. Every added mechanism meant more weight, more drag, more cost, and more maintenance. So he removed anything that didn't absolutely need to exist. That mindset runs through the entire airplane. Nothing feels accidental. Every line serves a purpose. And honestly, that's probably the real genius of the CriCri. Not the size, not the engines, not even the speed. It's the discipline behind it. Colomban understood that performance doesn't always come from adding more power. Sometimes it comes from removing everything you don't need. Lower weight transformed the airplane completely. Suddenly, tiny engines became usable. Tiny wings became practical. Tiny fuel tanks became enough. Because when an aircraft is this light, strange things start happening. Tiny amounts of horsepower suddenly become meaningful. Aerodynamics matter more. Efficiency matters more. The CriCri succeeds because the airplane itself demands almost nothing from its engines. And that's why this ridiculous-looking machine became one of the most fascinating engineering achievements aviation has ever seen. And then, somehow, the engines made the whole thing even crazier. Early CriCri prototypes used tiny Rowena two-stroke engines producing barely enough power to seem useful. Later versions experimented with McCulloch engines and even snowmobile engines because they were cheap lightweight, and easy to find. Eventually, the MC-15 became the definitive version, powered by two 15-horsepower JPX engines. That's basically lawnmower power, or a decent go-kart. Total output, just 30 horsepower. What people get wrong about airplanes: raw horsepower means nothing if the aircraft itself weighs almost nothing. The CriCri's entire philosophy depended on power-to-weight efficiency. And because the airframe was so unbelievably light and clean aerodynamically, those tiny engines pushed it to around 100 knots in cruise and nearly 120 knots flat out. That's real airplane performance from engines most people would laugh at. The real genius, though, was engine placement. Colomban mounted both engines extremely close to the center line, with counter-rotating propellers canceling torque effects completely. So if one engine failed, the aircraft didn't violently yaw like a normal twin. It simply drifted into a gentle turn. Even the bubble canopy was shaped to keep airflow stable over the tail surfaces during failure. The result sounded impossible: a twin-engine aircraft legally flyable with only a single-engine license. That wasn't luck. That was engineering logic pushed to perfection. And this is where the numbers stop sounding believable. The CriCri climbs at roughly 1,300 feet per minute. That's the kind of performance you'd expect from much larger certified aircraft with engines producing several times more power. Somehow, this tiny machine can reach over 12,000 feet, travel around 250 nautical miles, and still remain fully aerobatic. Loops, rolls, inverted flight. It handles all of it without feeling overwhelmed. The tiny wing area should make the airplane impossible to control, but low weight changes everything. Less mass means less lift required, which means the aircraft reacts instantly to control inputs. Pilots describe it as incredibly responsive, almost oversensitive at times. More like flying an oversized model aircraft than a traditional airplane. Stall speeds stay manageable around 50 knots, and despite its microscopic size, the CriCri feels agile instead of unstable. That balance is what makes the aircraft so fascinating. But the story didn't stop with one version. Over the decades, builders around the world kept experimenting with the CriCri because the airframe was so adaptable. The very first MC-10 prototype flew with tiny Rowena engines producing only modest power. Then came the MC-12, which used McCulloch engines and later lightweight snowmobile engines from Finland. That sounds ridiculous now, but at the time, snowmobile engines made perfect sense. Cheap, compact, lightweight, available everywhere. Colomban cared about practicality more than tradition. Then came the MC-15, the version most people recognize today. This became the definitive CriCri, using twin 15-horsepower JPX engines and spreading through the home-built aviation world. Hundreds of plan sets were sold across Europe, Australia, and the United States. And that's important because the CriCri wasn't a factory airplane. It became part of home-built aviation culture, where builders constantly modified, improved, and personalized the design. And then, somebody looked at this tiny piston airplane and thought, you know what this needs? Jet engines. Somehow they actually did it. In 1997, the jet-powered CriCri flew for the first time using miniature turbojets mounted beside the fuselage. Suddenly, the aircraft looked less like a home-built airplane and more like a miniature fighter jet. Watching it in a taxi feels surreal, because the engines are so tiny you could practically carry them under your arms. The jet version pushed speeds toward 140 knots and became an instant airshow favorite. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. A microscopic jet aircraft screaming past the runway while trailing smoke made from burning baby oil feels completely absurd in the best possible way. Audiences love it because the airplane looks impossible even when sitting still. Seeing it fly somehow makes even less sense. But the evolution still wasn't finished. In 2010, aerospace companies partnered on an electric CriCri using 4 brushless electric motors with counter-rotating propellers. For a while, it became one of the smallest 4-engine aircraft ever flown. That same electric version set speed records for lithium-powered aircraft. And in 2015, an electric CriCri crossed the English Channel, though it needed assistance getting airborne first. Still, the achievement proved something important. The CriCri had become the perfect experimental platform because it was lightweight, efficient, and endlessly adaptable. And maybe the most incredible part of the entire story is this: ordinary people could actually build one. Colomban never sold the CriCri as a complete aircraft. Instead, builders bought plans and constructed the airplane themselves, piece by piece. Depending on experience, the process could take anywhere from 800 to 1,500 hours. That sounds intimidating, until you realize most real aircraft projects are dramatically more difficult and expensive. The aluminum and foam construction method was intentionally simple, so amateur builders could manage it with normal tools and enough patience. And because the aircraft could be disassembled in around 5 minutes, owners didn't even need permanent hangar space. Wings detached easily, sections separated cleanly, and the airplane could fit inside a normal garage. Suddenly, aircraft ownership stopped feeling reserved for wealthy pilots with massive budgets. That practicality changed everything. Owning a CriCri wasn't like owning a traditional airplane with endless storage fees and maintenance costs. It felt personal, portable, almost approachable. Colomban designed the aircraft around the entire ownership experience, not just flying performance. And that's probably why the airplane developed such a loyal following in the experimental aviation world. More than 50 years later, the CriCri still holds its place as the smallest twin-engine manned aircraft ever built. And honestly, nobody has really beaten the idea. Most aircraft evolve slowly through small improvements, slightly faster, slightly bigger, slightly more efficient. But the CriCri completely redefined what people thought a twin-engine aircraft could even look like. Because twin-engine airplanes are supposed to be expensive, heavy, and complicated. They're supposed to require advanced training and serious infrastructure. The CriCri ignored all of that. It delivered twin-engine redundancy, aerobatic performance, garage storage, and astonishing efficiency inside something that looked closer to a toy than a real airplane. And somehow, it genuinely worked. That's why aviation enthusiasts still admire it today. Not because it's the fastest or most practical aircraft ever built, but because it represents pure engineering discipline. Colomban solved problems differently instead of simply adding more power or more technology. The airplane feels fearless in its simplicity. Minimalism pushed so far, it almost became art. And maybe that's the real reason CriCri became a legend. It looks impossible. Every instinct says it shouldn't fly properly, but then it takes off, climbs aggressively, performs aerobatics, and quietly proves everyone wrong. Even after half a century, it still feels futuristic. A tiny aircraft that somehow changed the way people think about aviation forever. The Colomban CriCri is more than the world's smallest twin-engine aircraft. It's proof that brilliant engineering can outperform brute force. Half a century later, this garage-built machine still feels futuristic, absurd, and inspiring all at once. A tiny airplane that permanently changed what people believed flight could be.